Greetings everyone. Once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about dissolution of customary marriage, or to put it the other way, divorce under customary marriage. The question here is the main question: how does it end? Does customary marriage end like all other marriage, or what is the situation? Or when you are fed up, when you are angry, when you are disappointed, do you just take your stuff and go? In the olden days, or according to culture rather, there are ways in which it was done. But in terms of recognition of Customary Marriages Act, number 120 of 1992, you don't just pack your bags and go. The act says you must approach a court of law. It can be a high court, family law court. But in order for you to say, I was married under customary law, I met the requirements, that is why I can say I was married. We did discuss the requirements under customary law in a video that preceded this one. In that we illustrated when can you say you are married under customary law. So once you were part of that legal customary marriage, or once you are part of that marriage that is recognized under the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act 120 of 1998, and you want to terminate, you want to end, you want to dissolve that marriage, the act says you must approach a court of law. Therefore, what it means is that if you were married under customary marriage, under customary marriage, the only time you can say your marriage has come to an end is because there is a court order or there is a decree of divorce. So it is very, very important that you ensure that you approach the court of law like in all other marriage, like your civil unions, where if you are married by way of civil union, you have to approach the court. Even in this instance, even if it's customary marriage, you have to approach the court. And if you don't approach the court, there will be negative consequences. For example, even if you can just pack your bags and go, you are still married. Even after 10 years, if it can be discovered that you once packed your bags and left, you will still be regarded as being married because there is no decree of divorce, there is no court order. The other consequence is that you can't marry again. And if you do decide to marry again, despite the fact that there is no court order that dissolved or that terminated your marriage, this will be illegal. And your new marriage can be annulled. And it can be declared null and void at a later stage. Now, a popular question that is usually asked under the implication of divorce under customary marriage is, do you have to return lobola? Now, we have been talking about this marriage being in terms of recognition of Customary Marriages Act. The act is silent. The act does not say anything about returning of lobola. However, traditionally, the lobola was returned or could be returned or may be returned. There are factors that are considered. Now, whatever I'm discussing now, it's not what the Act says, it's what is done traditionally. Traditionally, when they decide whether this lobola should be returned or not, they look at the number of children, they look at the amount paid for lobola, they look at who was at fault, and so on and so forth. Now, in a case where the husband is at fault, he forfeits his lobola. In a case where the wife was at fault, the lobola must be returned. And whether they return all the amount paid or whether they return half or whatever, it will be decided on case by case. Now, remember that here we are talking traditionally. What is it that happens or that will happen traditionally when this marriage comes to an end? And clearly, this is a situation where customary law expects, or even the chief, rather let me say traditional leaders will be involved in this decision because they are experts, and we can also even safely say they are custodians of customary law. So, in a nutshell, if you are part or if you are married in terms of the recognition of Customary Marriages Act of 1998, make it a point that if you want to dissolve or to end that marriage, approach a court of law so that you must have a decree of divorce so that the court can issue an order to that effect. Because at a later stage, you may encounter problems. And it doesn't matter for how long you have been divorced into quotation. Even if you left that marriage in 2000, now we are in 2022, and you say, it's been too long, it's been 22 years, that does not count. Ensure that you do the correct thing in terms of the law. Thank you very much.